All right, on today's episode, I welcome on a very special guest. She is SS Goshen 4, or Goshen. She's a Dragon Ball influencer, has her very own Instagram account, which is SSJ Goshen 4, right? Correct? And then,
My YouTube is SSJ Goshen 4 and everything else is SS Goshen 4. There's a story behind that, but I'll tell it later.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for our joining our show. We really appreciate it and taking time out of your day to be a part of the Anime Village podcast. How are you doing today?
Of course. Well, thank you for having me. I'm doing really well. I've always loved doing podcasts and I'm glad to be part of this one. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me as a guest.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no
that.
problem. No problem. Of course, of course. I guess the one of the first questions I want to ask, because you're such a big Dragon Ball influencer. I mean, I've seen your Instagram on a few like on a couple of my accounts and come across your and you just do great content. But I want to bring up first, you won a Dragon Ball award, and and it's pretty cool that you won this award, and it seems for like influencer. Like, explain how that award happened and everything, and just talk about that real quick.
So it's crazy because I didn't think they were gonna do something like this, but pretty much the award was, or the award show was organized by just a group of fans, and the group is called the North American Dragon Ball Alliance, and it's just a bunch of fans that got on Facebook and they decided to make a whole group, just dedicating like showing their love for Dragon Ball, whether it's cosplay, arts, YouTube, whatever it is, collecting. So they did this award show for the first time. For 2022. So they had different categories. One of them was best cosplayer, one of them was best collector, and there was also social media influencer of the year. And I didn't tell anybody to like nominate me or vote for me at all. I would say, oh, let's just see what happens. And turns out I won the award. I'm like, that's awesome. Like it was organic too. Like I didn't tell anybody to vote for me. I have it here. Actually, I can show you.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so cool. I like the Dragon Ball on top too.
I know, I love it. It's like so pretty, like to display. And it's
Eh,
like I felt so proud, when I won this.
That's awesome. Is that a 4-star Dragon Ball or is it a 3-star?
It is three.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. That is sick. That's great. So like all of this, everything that you've been doing and creating content online is like starting to pay off, and you're starting to get recognized as the fact that you're winning an award, which is absolutely just awesome to have and
Yeah.
to bring with you. And do you have like a little trophy case for it, or like how that?
Right now, I would like to put it with my collection, but right now, since it's like a work in progress at the moment, my collection room, I just have it in my living room, just kind of like on the entertainment center, just kind of put right there so everyone can see it. But yeah, I never thought I would get an award for just having fun and doing what I like on, all my social media platforms. It's crazy. It's
That's
really cool.
awesome. That's really cool. So we'll get more into I guess how you started like your Instagram and YouTube and how it just has grown over the years. But I want to know, I mean, where did the fandom of like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z GT start?
So it started when I first saw it on Toonami. I was probably, I don't remember exactly, probably 4 or 5-ish.
Yeah.
And it was my older sister who was watching it actually. And I remember the first episode I ever watched. It was when Yamcha was killed by the Cybermen.
Oh, okay.
That's an intense first episode, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, that really sticks out. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was like so intrigued. I was like, I have to see more.
Yeah.
So that was the start of it, really. And from then on, I just always kept up with it. All my friends liked it. And I was a tomboy growing up, so all my friends were boys, so we would all get along watching Dragon Ball. And then I always had the toys as well, the action figures when I was a kid. My mom would buy them for me for Christmas or my birthday. And that was like the start of my love for the action figures. And then
Yeah.
it took off. Now I have a huge collection,
That's
of Dragon Ball memorabilia.
That's awesome. Like, so when you started collecting, like, what was the first? Do you remember the first thing that your mom got you? Like, what was the first like collectible that you got? Or
I think the first collectible I received was probably some bootleg figures. So my mom didn't know if they were
yeah,
official or not. So she just
yeah,
got whatever. And they had, I remember, like she told me there was a store of just all like bootleg like merchandise.
yeah,
But me being like 6 years old, I didn't know the difference. So I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I don't know why Goku looks like that kind of funky, but
Yeah.
It's awesome. I have Dragon Ball toys. So that was like the first memory of me getting anything like Dragon Ball figure related was on Christmas, some bootlegs. And then I also remember going to the store and physically getting my very first, like purchasing my first Dragon Ball figure. And I was probably like 6. I went to like a KB Toys and
Oh
they had
yeah,
this,
yeah,
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 like I
yeah,
love KB Toys back in the day. So
yeah.
and it was like a Super Saiyan Goku. I still have that toy, by the way. I still
Really?
have it. Yeah, I never got rid of it because I'm like, this is the first toy I remember buying in the store. So yeah, Super Saiyan Goku, and I remember I was trying to pick between him or Gohan. I'm like, I don't know which one I want, and I just chose Super Saiyan Goku. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's really cool. And then obviously, like you have, I could see like in the corner over there, you got a bunch of collectibles right behind you and everything, and obviously led to a huge road. Now, when you selected the Super Saiyan Goku, is that your favorite character, or who is your favorite character? I know.
So Goku is definitely my favorite. I love Goku. And I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory why. Like he's so pure-hearted. He does everything for his friends and family. What's not to love about him?
Right.
He's goofy. He's when he can be. He's silly. Some people think he got dumber over time, but it's fine. Like I like that about him. And then when it comes to battle, like he's serious. So sometimes. But yeah, I love
Yeah.
Goku. And then Pan as well. Pan is like Goku and Pan are like really close.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really like Pan, but I'm one of the people like the minority that likes her. Freaking I love her. I have a collection just of Pan merchandise.
That's awesome.
So yeah, yeah, and like there's a whole story behind that too. Like I love her because when GT was coming out and airing on Toonami, I was like the same age as she was. I probably was like 10 years old and then and actually in the Funimation they'll debate her 14 but originally she's also 10 so like I just like looked up to another female fighter who
Yeah.
could kick butt like being 10 years old and she can like hold her own with the guys and so people thought she was bossy but I kind of like that about her 'cause she just like didn't take anything from no one
Yeah.
so I just always looked up to her and she was like a tomboy and I was a tomboy so yeah, I loved that character and I still do. So
That's awesome. I mean, so like being like seeing Pan on the GT, do you think that she'll like transfer like get older in the Super? Will she? Do you think she'll go the same route as GT, or like do you think they'll have a kind of separate thing for her as well?
that's tough. I mean, I know they'll probably for sure it probably will change how she looks. I mean, I feel like they'll like alter her design a bit. Maybe
Yeah.
they'll keep like the signature things, like maybe like the orange bandana and like some kind of red shirt or whatever. I don't know, but they're
Yeah.
gonna change it up, I think.
Yeah.
As far as her personality, I don't know. That's hard to really say. Hope they don't change it too much. Some people would say, "Oh, I hope they change it," but I kind of like her spunkiness,
Yeah.
like so. I don't know. Maybe it'll be like they'll keep some of that elements in her and but they'll like maybe change her up a bit like maybe for the better who knows like I'm excited to see what they do with her character I love her in the new movie
Yeah.
her in like what is it preschool elementary school seeing her like with Piccolo like I love that like relationship that they highlighted in the movie so I can't wait to see what they do with her.
That's yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I think that whole new Super when Super gets released, it's gonna be very interesting where they take it. I mean, I haven't read the manga, so I'm not too sure. So I'm not really up to date. I'm not sure if you read the mangas as well. But I also want to know because you mentioned Toonami. I grew up watching Toonami and Dragon Ball Z on Toonami as well too, and Dragon Ball GT. I want to know like your frustration. I don't know if this ever happened to you. Like, if you were watching like a show, like watching Dragon Ball Z, and then like it would just end, and then there wouldn't be any new episodes. They like restart from the beginning, and then like you have to wait until like the new episodes to come out. Or maybe I'm showing my age on this one.
No, it was very frustrating.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I totally remember that. Like actually, I think because of that happening, it deterred some people from even continuing watching Dragon Ball. Like that happened to my older sister. Like she was super into it and stuff. But then
yeah.
when they kept going back to the beginning, she was like, I'm done. I can't do this no more. So she just never continued like watching it. I think or she stopped watching it like when it was getting to the Cell Saga
Oh
and they
yeah,
just
yeah.
kept teasing it and teasing it and she was just like I give up but it was very frustrating it's like you're like ready for the next one they would just go back to the beginning. I heard it was because they actually didn't finish dubbing it yet so they
Right.
had to go back and reshow the whole thing again because they actually weren't caught up themselves there. So like, but yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, it's such a different world now that we live in with like Dragon, like how like getting anime is so like I don't know, easier now, like nowadays where we have all these streaming services and how we can kind of pull stuff in now. It just makes life a lot easier and like less of a wait. Now there's simuldub too on top
Yeah,
of it, like or you don't
exactly.
have to wait for any. It's just it's such an interesting time. I mean, it's a great time to be an anime fan now. Like, but like I just remember back in the even like many watching many shows where I'd just like be like, oh, what? Like we're back on episode. Like I was like looking forward to the next episode. I'm like, oh no, we're back to like episode one again.
I know. Like, it was super, super frustrating. Like, it took like months for like them to get back,
Yeah.
to the next step, the new chapter, the new saga.
Yeah, it sucked. But like for Dragon Ball Z and stuff, do you have like a favorite arc and a favorite villain or like some like what's been your favorite part of like the shows? I know there's like a ton, but like what's been your favorite one?
I usually go to, I guess, Frieza and Saiyan, but I also really like Cell. My least favorite is the Buu saga.
Yeah.
It's still good, but it's my least favorite. Um, there's just so many moments in those three that like really, really like resonate with me. Um, my favorite villain is Frieza. Like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
always been my favorite, even though they like keep bringing him back and all the stuff. Like I still love him. He's awesome. He's like for me the OG, like super scary, like kind of like, oh my gosh, what is he gonna do? Kind of intimidating villain where everybody was like on the edge of their seat and they're like, oh, you know, it
Yeah.
was like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna die or are we gonna live because of Frieza? Like it was
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was I loved him. And then like my favorite moment, I don't know if you're gonna ask me this soon, but my favorite moment is actually when Goku turns Super Saiyan for the first time, and like that's part of the Frieza saga. So
Yeah.
like it was not. I just love that saga.
That moment is such like so cool of like how everything like happened, like how he just turned Super Saiyan and like obviously the death of Krillin and then like he just goes and like the music too.
Yeah,
I like the I'm like prefer for me, I guess I prefer more of the Bruce Falconer music, like where everything was like the rock and everything. Like,
yeah,
I just grew up on on that. So when I try
yeah.
to rewatch Dragon Ball, like I always try to search. I have the old VHSs, but I'm like I always have to search for it.
No, just everything like about that moment though. It was animated, like it just gave you the chills. And like I remember when Goku's like transforming, you see like his eyes are all white. He's just
Yeah.
like his head's like going back. He's like, ah, it's like it's so intense. And like that transformation like takes a while. He doesn't just transform like this. Like it's
Yeah.
like a whole process. So
It's phenomenal. Yeah, it's such a great like scene, and especially in the history of like anime too. It's just something that always will stick out. But I want to ask too, like, what with all this fandom and growing up with collecting, and then all of a sudden, what made you start your own Instagram and your YouTube? Obviously, it's worked out, it's paid out, it got some great following, and you do some great content on there. So like,
thank you.
what made you're welcome. What made you start it all?
Well, the start of that, it's funny because I've been on YouTube since like the beginning, practically like since I don't know, December '05. It's a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Oh
and then yeah,
yeah.
very long time. So I started with YouTube. I made an account officially in '06 January. I found it by chance. I found YouTube by chance. And like back then they had like no rules, right? They just kind of you
Yeah.
could upload what you wanted. So I originally started with just uploading like anime music videos. I used to make my own and before copyright. So then in 2008, I was looking up, I guess, just Dragon Ball like figure stuff. And then I found this guy who was reviewing his own action figures. And like, like I'm like, that's pretty cool. I could do that because I have a bunch of my own figures. Why don't I try like doing a review or something? So I took my crap camera, my like flip camera. I don't know if you remember those, but
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. So I
yeah.
took my camera and then I just like set it up. Horrible quality, horrible audio. It's still there on my channel actually. If you
Is it
go
really?
to my first video, yeah, yeah, like it's still up there. Those horrible, horrible videos. Anyway, but so it just started like that. Like I just got my camera, started making reviews, and I just kept doing it because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed showing my collection to other people, and people liked it too. And it just grew from there. And then like, of course, with the times, new social media platforms came out, like Instagram and TikTok. I'm on TikTok as well.
Oh,
And
nice.
and yeah, so I just adapted to those and kind of like started making content for them as well. Like I've really been going hard more so on Instagram, like with reels and stuff once that was like released, like announced to do that.
Yeah.
But it started with TikTok doing those short style videos, and then I kind of like also brought the content to Instagram. So yeah, it's just a lot of many years. I've been like using social media for a long time.
That's awesome though. Like that's crazy. Like when you mentioned YouTube back in '05, like that, you were like one of the first because I think I remember YouTube around then. I think that's when it first came out. I think that was
Yeah,
like, yeah, I
actually,
think
that was like the year it was launched, I think.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I remember because like I was in high school, I think we were in computer class, and like check out, go to YouTube, and I'm like, what is YouTube? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
like I think I was like 13 at the time, but I was like, oh, this is a cool site. Like, I want to share my music videos on here. So that's how it really started.
that's awesome. And so like you do a lot of cool things, and you recently released one that was pretty cool. It was like the old Dragon Ball Z game, like Budokai looked like a guy in a virtual reality, like
Oh
kind of
yeah, huh?
yeah. Like how do you find some of the old information and like pull that down? Like do you do research or is that like all knowledge?
Well, it's research definitely because you got to research to get the knowledge. So, um, yeah, it's just research many years of like looking through different websites or like back in the day, like I used to have the Beckett magazines and I used to look at that. I mean, some of the information was all 100%, but that's what we had, when we were
Yeah.
kids, those magazines. So it's just a lot of knowledge too, like research and knowledge from many, many years, really. So, I mean, I like that video. I'm glad a lot of people liked it because a lot of people didn't know like
Yeah.
that fact.
I had like some of like honestly like some of the videos that you post are really cool. Like I didn't know some of like the facts or even some like the like I think you mentioned earlier like the toys that were like knock but you posted like a
Yeah,
bunch of like the knockoff toys too and
the
like
terrible ones.
yeah it's so like your channel is just very unique in its ways that it has its own like figures but you also do like I started on YouTube, like you do like you watch animes, you do kind of reaction videos and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And it's really cool that like you do all that stuff. I think it kind of gives people some insight that they didn't really like know about like Dragon Ball or like the old commercials. I remember you posted like the Dragon Ball, I think it was the Burger King commercial. Like
Yeah.
that hit home so hard. Like I was like, oh my
Yeah, I
God.
like nostalgia too. So that's why I put a lot of nostalgic things.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like that's what like at first on YouTube it was just figures that I was doing and like unboxings and collection updates and all that. And I still do those things, not as much as I used to, but I still love to do my figure content, but I have also like tried to just do other Dragon Ball content in general, like reactions
Yeah.
and like those like fun little short videos that I do on Instagram. And yeah, like I branched out because in the beginning it was just strictly only figure stuff or just figure reviews.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's nostalgia for me too. I mean, I think too. You posted some of VHS. Sorry, I'm like you hit home on a lot of things. And like, and then it had like all the Dragon Balls lined up on it for like the intro for like the Dragon Ball
Yeah.
VHSs. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, geez, I was like, and then it like reminded me. I was like, I still have those. Like,
I
somewhere.
know. I still have some of those too, actually.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
So that's awesome. But like, man, what was I gonna? How many figures do you have, and like where, like, and where do you get them all? Are you like buying them on eBay? Where do you collect them all from?
I wish I knew how many figures I have. I really don't have a count. It's so much. Like it's really a lot to count, honestly. The last time I counted was almost 10 years ago at this point. It was probably like 2014. And at that time I had over, I think 4,000
Oh, wow.
back then.
Oh my God.
So I can't imagine what I have now. Like I really can't. I slowed down a little bit on collecting. I'm trying to like focus on like particular items that I really like. So I won't just collect everything because then that's a little overwhelming. I'm trying to like maybe just focus on like vintage. That's my favorite kind of Dragon Ball like memorabilia to collect is vintage stuff, but like whether it's like the 90s, 80s, or early 2000s.
Right.
So I'm trying to kind of focus on that now because, like I said, it gets overwhelming. But um, yeah, I wish I knew how much I had. Like people ask me that a lot. But and as far as like where I get everything from, eBay mainly. I've also looked into the Japanese auction sites, and they're really helpful too for finding more obscure things. Also, other collectors, I buy from other collectors as well. I use the Facebook groups. There's plenty of Dragon Ball Facebook groups, like for specifically for collecting that I am part of. And then what else? Mercari. Mercari is also good. There's many, many places to look at. Even like other like auction places overseas. Like I've bought stuff from like Italy or France, and yeah, that's all over the world.
Wow, my God. Yeah, that's well, it's awesome though because I'm sure you get some unique like items from that maybe would never made it to the States or or over in Japan. I'm sure that's some pretty cool like collectibles that you do receive and stuff like or like get or find.
Yeah, there's like some items that are just like specifically for one like country. Like what else? There was like Mexico. I got have some from Mexico from so many different places. But it's fun. It makes it more fun and interesting.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's really cool that you're able to like find that and to be able to get them and that's crazy. They have over 4,000. I'm sure if you ever like move or have to pack stuff up, I'm
Oh,
sure.
I did. I moved like not that long ago. I moved in 2021, like at the end of 2021 for my I was living with my parents actually, and I finally moved into my own condo. And like that was rough because in my room, I had all my collection, well, a lot of it in my room, and I also had the other half in storage
Yeah.
because it didn't fit all in my room. But to move everything out, I had to like bring all my friends to spend like the whole day to help me pack because it was just a lot. So now that's why I said that like my collection room is a work in progress. Is
Yeah.
now I'm like trying to make my second bedroom into the collection room, but
Oh.
it's still not all the way finished. So yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, trust me, when I move, it's always like a mission, you know.
Oh my God. Yeah, I bet. I bet. Are your friends big into like like the Dragon Ball or know how big you're into it as well too, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they've all like known, of course, and some of them have been part of my videos. Like most of them are not really like super hardcore Dragon Ball fans,
Yeah.
but they like anime in general. But like Dragon Ball, are like, oh yeah, it's cool, I like it. But they support, like me and my stuff and like my content and my collection. So they're always like down to be part of videos and stuff. But I do have friends as well, like at cons that are really into it, of course. Like I've made some online friends. So I mean, it's it's awesome that you're able to connect with so many different people like around the world just from something that you love, like Dragon Ball or like, collecting and all of that. So
That's really cool. That's awesome, and that's cool that you made friends that are into it as well as your friends that like helped you move and help you set up
yeah,
everything.
they're like, oh, the stuff you make us do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I want to ask too of like, so the new Dragon Ball, like obviously Dragon Ball Super's out, and like there's a they announced like there's probably gonna be a new season coming out, like to bounce off the superhero movie and the Broly. What are you looking forward to most, like out of the new season that's coming up of Dragon Ball Super?
I mean, I'm really like looking forward to just seeing hopefully they animate everything that's been being told in the manga. Like
Yeah.
that would be awesome. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Like it's crazy. I feel like they keep teasing us. They're like, oh yeah, it's gonna come out the next year, like next year, and like it doesn't come out. So I'm like, are they, or are they just gonna keep doing the manga? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
So I'm just excited to see like whatever, anything new, like anything from the manga, like being adapted to anime. Like I've been waiting. I want to see that. And what the new chapters in the manga, it looks pretty interesting. Like seeing Goten and Trunks aged up, you
Yeah.
know. And like I don't know if I want to spoil anything, but
No, you're
the
good.
new the new the new chapters look really cool, and I hope to see that animated.
All right. Well, that's what I was gonna ask you. I was like, do you will like I saw some things float around about Goten and Trunks. Like, do they
Yeah.
get stronger or like are they gonna be our new Goku and Vegeta? Like what's gonna happen? Like, like what do you
I
think?
know. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. I know they're like doing like the Great Sandman kind of thing. Like they're in like superhero outfits. So, I will see. We'll see, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. Because like for the longest time we were waiting for them to be like aged up. We're like, are they gonna look any older? Because they're like how old now and they're still looking like kids. Like
Yeah.
finally they redesigned them, which they look good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it. Hmm.
Yeah, it was cool what they did with them. I mean, I was curious. I wanted them. I don't know. I just like I hope they make them like a couple like strong. I don't know, stronger characters. I know there was like a big like fan made anime like or something that was going on with Goten and Trunks out there that everyone was like it was all over like Instagram Reels and YouTube and stuff. So it was cool. I want to see something like that with those guys. I mean, Trunks is one of my favorite characters, so I would like to see him
Yeah.
be like
Yeah. No, Trunks is awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
I'd like to see it too. And I want to see what they do, like I said earlier, with Pam. Like,
yeah.
hope they age her up too. And then we get to see, hopefully, they can make her a Super Saiyan. We've been waiting forever for that. Like, when? When is that happening?
I hope so. I mean, they did it with the in the tournament. I mean, they made
Yeah,
yeah
with Kale, yeah,
yeah
and
Kale
Khalifa.
and
But honestly, Pan deserved to be the first Super Saiyan, like female Super Saiyan.
yes, agreed.
She deserved it. Like I
But
remember there was a moment in GT where I felt like she was going to turn Super Saiyan and like she didn't. I was like, how can you tease that? Like it was like when like Giru betrayed her or whatever, and she's like, I thought you were my friend. I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna happen? Nope."
yeah. Yeah, I
Same.
mean, yeah. Hopefully, it happens in the next like going forward in the next arcs. It'd be really cool. I mean, she's been a character. I mean, everyone seen her in. I mean, people have watched GT. She's been in GT and seen her development. So hopefully, we kind of see her. And I mean, Super. It looked like you said at the movie, her and Piccolo were training. So
Yeah, I know. I'm like, okay, there has to be a moment where she turns Super Saiyan, like hopefully soon.
yeah, it would have been nuts at the end of the movie if they made her go Super Saiyan, which is
Right?
yeah,
Oh my
like
gosh, I would have freaked out. My reaction, I would have been like coming out of I would have jumped out of my seat, honestly.
well, let's see. I mean, I love Dragon Ball. I love what they're doing with it. Are you more of a fan of GT? Do you like GT as well, or is that like more of your favorite? Or do you like them all like on top of it?
Well, Dragon Ball Z is always my favorite one. I love Dragon Ball as well. Like Dragon Ball is awesome. Like I
Yeah.
feel like more people need to like give Dragon Ball their flowers because like
So
one, it's hilarious.
yeah,
Two, the story is great, of course, like the origin of Goku's like beginnings.
yeah,
And then like just the fighting is great. That like action, the battles are all good in Dragon Ball, so love it. And I also enjoy GT. A lot of people hate on it. I think it got way too much hate than it deserved, to be honest. Um, Super Saiyan 4 is my favorite transformation still.
yeah.
I love it. Like I love the character design. Like he looks awesome. Like
Right.
my favorite. Um, there are things about GT, of course, that are not that great, that like had a lot of potential, but they didn't really, you know, do too much with it. Like they could have done something real great, but they kind of like made it, they kept it mid. Like they could have done so many good things with it. But I enjoy for what it is. Like it's not horrible, it's not trash. I don't think that at all. I still enjoy it. And then Super is also it's also fun. So it's also great. And like um it's still going on. So I can't wait to see what else they do there. They got to do the anime. Like they got to bring it back. Like, come on. It's been
Yeah.
how many years? We're all frustrated.
I know. It's been like three or 4 years now since
It's been
2019.
like I think it's gonna be like 5. I think it
Yeah.
was 18 actually.
Oh, really? Oh my God.
18.
Yeah. Jeez. That's crazy. Yeah.
18?
Yeah, come on, let's
Like
get back into it. I know it's hard. Stop teasing us with these movies. Get back into it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
Yeah. I got a few more questions and we'll wrap it up soon. But I want to know what do you think? I think it kind of touched upon it, but like, what do you think about the popularity of anime today and like how much it's grown? I think since COVID, really.
I think honestly, probably in the past, I would say maybe 5 to 6, maybe longer, maybe like in the past like 7 years. I think it really started taking off a lot more. It's actually kind of crazy because I remember when we were growing up, like a lot of people looked at us like, "Ew, you like anime?" Like the
Yeah.
anime nerds. Like they were like bully like, people who are into anime,
Yeah.
which it's so crazy. It was super like niche, I guess, back then.
Yeah.
Um, and now it's like mainstream, like everybody likes anime. If you don't like anime, they're like, you don't like anime, you don't watch
Right.
anime. That's how it is. It's so really crazy how it's changed so much. And now it's such a big thing, like pop culture, like celebrities love anime, it's especially even Dragon, like I think I actually have a series on Dragon Ball references in movies and TV shows and in music. And it's crazy to see how much like Dragon Ball has been referenced in pop culture,
Really.
and cartoons and stuff. Yeah. So it's really taken off like anime. Like now you're not looked at like you have three heads if you say you like anime.
No, yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think I remember growing up and I remember I always had to like hide like my movies or something with my friend. I don't want people to like, like you said, people judged you when you're watching
Yeah, which
anime
is
when you
so dumb. Like
yeah.
I never hit. I was like, okay, I like
Yeah.
anime and what's your point? I used to like draw anime and stuff too. Like I used to go to anime like club or anime class or something in like
Really?
middle school. Yeah, I did.
That's awesome though.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So, but
that's
I'm happy. I'm happy to see it like go towards like mainstream now. Now everybody likes it. So,
yeah, yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see like you said, it's in pop culture, actors, athletes,
yeah.
musicians, like everyone's just kind of like referencing it and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice to see that as well too. So it's cool to see the growth of it. I hope it continues and hopefully no one has to be like me and hide their animes or be judged when you're a kid to get judged by it, which is
Right.
unfair by any chance
Yeah,
for
very. The
anyone.
kids nowadays have a good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Do you have any other favorite animes outside of Dragon Ball Z and the Dragon Balls?
Yeah, it's funny because whenever I say like the anime I really love, other than Dragon Ball, it's like older stuff, Like I one of the newer animes I really like is on Demon Slayer. Like Demon Slayer is really good. I love
Yeah.
it. Um, and then I also really like one of my favorite films ever. Is Perfect Blue. It's one of my favorite anime films, or just in general. I love that movie. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's like it's trippy.
I heard of it.
So good.
I have heard of it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's really good.
Is
It's
that
really good.
I'll check
Yeah,
it
I've watched it probably like I don't even know 10 times.
out.
But I love that. I don't know if you've ever heard of Azumanga. Love
Mm-mm.
Azumanga. It's a slice of life. I would say it's like the pioneer slice of life anime.
Okay.
It's hilarious, and every time I watch it, it puts me in like a good mood. Like I was really, really into it, like when I was in middle school. Yu Hakusho's awesome. Love it. Who doesn't like love Yu Hakusho?
That's so great. Yeah.
Yeah, and those are like the main ones that I really like. Yeah, mainly older stuff, that I grew up with. But like I don't watch too much new anime just because I don't have that much time to. You have to dedicate a lot of time to like most anime. Not all, but most.
Yeah.
So, but Dragon Ball's number one for me.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
and and you do like cosplay, right? For like Dragon Ball sometimes and stuff like do you go to any events? Do you have any upcoming events coming up recently or anything?
Yeah, I have a few. Yeah, I do cosplay. I started doing that probably, I would say my first real cosplay, like Dragon Ball cosplay, was maybe 2012 or so. So, it's fun. I like to do it just for fun. I don't know how to make costumes, like I wish, but I just like to like buy the outfits and like just showcase the character, that I like. So, but yeah, so I get invited to events as well
That's
because of, I guess everything that I've done on social media, like being an influencer and also for my cosplay stuff, which is amazing because I never thought I'd be invited to like events and become guests, like that's mind blowing. But I have an upcoming event towards the end of February called Hero Hype. So I'll have my own table there and I bring collectibles as well to sell to others. They're usually like my doubles for my collection, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bring them. Hopefully some other people can like enjoy it and put it in their collection. So I always have goodies there on my booth. And I also have prints and stuff. And like, I just love meeting the fans too. Like some people like just come out just to see me. I'm like, that's crazy. Like I still, it still like blows my mind when people like recognize me like in public. So
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Oh
Like
my God.
what? Oh, hi. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. So, and then I also have KamehamehaCon coming up in May. I'm definitely gonna be there. I'll probably won't have a booth. I'll just go and like just to hang out and see everybody. But I might actually host a panel for KamehamehaCon. I do panels as well. So it'll probably be like nostalgia, Dragon Ball nostalgia, or like maybe like Dragon Ball and pop culture, something like along those lines. So it's gonna be fun.
That's that's so awesome though. That's so cool that like and I know I mentioned this to you off air, but like so cool that like this passion of like a show that you started watching at a young age that's like turned into a passion of collecting and like becoming a channel. And now it's like you're doing these events, you're hosting panels. It's got to be such a great feeling to be able to like be like obviously being an influencer of Dragon Ball, but like just to be able to like be recognized by like others and like have like be able to do that stuff.
Yeah, it is. It really is like sometimes I can't believe it because like because of this, I was able to like be friends with some of the voice actors and like do events with them and like they all know me and stuff. And it's just if you were to tell me that when I was like 10, I would have like never believed you, you know? Like I used to when I was 10, I actually used to look at the credits and see who voiced who,
Yeah.
which is crazy. A lot of kids don't do that, but I was like really into it. I'm like, oh wow, like these characters are voiced by people. So like if you were to tell me when I was 10, oh, by the way, you're gonna be like good friends with like the voice of Kid Goku and Kid Gohan, I would have never thought. Like I would have been like, yeah, right. And or like you're gonna be great friends with the voice of Pan, because me and Elise are really good friends as well.
Oh my
So
God.
it's crazy. Never
It is
thought it
it
would get
it
me there. Yeah.
it's nuts. Yeah. And Stephanie, who does the voice of Kid Goku, would go on. I know you mentioned you guys are you're friends with her, and I mean she's such like a
She's
nice
awesome.
person and so awesome. And like I think I like it was kind of saying I had like one of those moments when I interviewed her. I was like, damn, like I like grew up watching this you voice this character and like this character's like the Cell Saga, some of the things has got me through some like hard times. I just like always go back to it when I'm always going through like a tough time. It was nuts to like talk to her and stuff like
Yeah. And I mean that's how I felt at first. Like I felt kind of like a little starstruck when like I first met them. And then like now we're good friends. Like it's so cool. Like Stephanie like slept over my house like a few months ago, like that. Like it's just awesome. Like I'm blessed to have them as friends. Like really. It's
That's
really cool.
awesome. That's all like, obviously hard work and what you do is really, really cool. Like I said, every time I go to your page, I'm like always nostalgia, like those commercials or the figures and stuff like that. And I think I honestly like love and enjoy like your page and what you do. It's so cool and obviously keep going with it because it's something that's gonna take you down the line somewhere. It's gonna be really, really, really big.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, it's a lot of dedication, many years. Like, it really was a passion project, really, at first, because, or just a passion, like, not even a project, because I wasn't trying to do it. I was just literally, okay, let me put a video of me, like, reviewing figures. And I never thought it would lead me to where I am today. I mean, back when I started doing figure reviews, you couldn't even make any money on YouTube for it. It was
Yeah.
just for fun, and now it's changed so much. I've seen all these platforms change, like, and like develop and like see the evolution of YouTube since 2005.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how much it's like now it's like the number one site that everyone like turns to
Yeah,
for like a video and stuff. It's
yeah, now it's like like high productions and stuff, like people make like these crazy cool documentaries and stuff. Before it was just like, oh, anyone with the camera, all right, like low budget and with actually zero budget. So
shooting off your like razor phone and put
yeah,
it out
yeah,
on there. Yeah.
exactly.
That's awesome. I got two more questions for you, Goshen, and then we'll wrap it up. But first question is here at Anime Village, we're doing something that's pretty neat. And I know I talked to you about it a little bit. Like we're doing we're creating our own mangas, and we have this thing called Adamant. We're creating a manga called Adamanta, which is in the background here, as you can see. It's a really cool story.
Awesome.
But with that, we're doing, we have a metaverse, and within that metaverse, you can hang out, which is in our hub called Village 555. But we also, on top of this hub, we people can go into 4 different genres of mangas that we actually create. So like those stories can continue, or you can play those stories as well in our like in those different genres. So our genres of mangas that we're creating, like Adamanto is an action adventure. We'll have a mecha one. We'll have a like like a underground like depth, like I don't know, like a Yu Yu Hakusho kind of type one, and a slice of life one. I just want to get your thoughts of like what we're doing, and like, you know, how like maybe like something, I don't know if you've ever heard of it or seen something like that before, or you know, just,
I don't think I've ever like seen something like that actually. So it's like a community that you have that like where you can just go and like explore these different like genres, I guess.
yeah.
And like that's so cool. Like honestly, it's very unique. I've never heard of that. So I think that's an awesome idea. And I like if I were to choose, I'd probably choose a slice of life.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you
yeah,
can like just like do whatever, you know? It's
yeah, yeah, just
well,
hang out.
that's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
and like, do people like create their own characters and everything? And like, how's that
So
aspect of it?
it's going to be like avatars of our own
Okay.
like characters from the show.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, from not
Gotcha.
from the show, from the mangas and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I, you know, eventually I'm sure we'll get start to differentiate. But like we're still like we're still a startup company, so we're still working out like everything. Like we're like we have NFTs too, or like with those NFTs, if you
Mm.
buy an NFT, you get like different utilities out of it. So like one NFT is from our main character, our main protagonist, and Adamanto is like you get him once you buy that, he's in that gear and he comes with like that gear. Or if you buy like a guide for the metaverse, you get like discounts on like our like with land and like t-shirts and everything, like, you know, like a bunch of stuff. So it comes with like there's like utilities that come with the NFTs as well too. So it's just not like, I guess, like just an NFT that you hold on, like you hold on to it and you get more with it as it goes on. But like, you know, it adds to like your character and you get like special things for your character as well.
Ah, I see. So there's like perks and stuff, and you can like
Yeah.
just get like bonus things with it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, and then you have your avatar is based off what the characters of
Yeah.
the mangas. That's really cool. I'm honestly, I've never heard of that. So you have something unique going on. That's
No,
for sure. And I
thank you.
hope it like takes off. I
Thank you.
really do. Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah. I'll have to
really
check it out
appreciate it.
now. Now I gotta check it out.
Yeah, yeah. Go to our website, myanimeVillage.com. It's yeah, we're doing some cool things with it, and hopefully it continues to grow. And you know, this the podcast is one of them. And like I said, we're very happy to have you on the podcast and appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always like I always have so much fun doing these. So
Yeah, yeah, it's cool to talk to you and like learn about you. And obviously you're doing great things. I have one last question, and this will be it. What do you do outside of like when you what's your favorite thing to do outside of the content that you're creating? Like, do you just like to hang out, go out to food? Like, what's your favorite thing to do outside of that, the content?
I usually just like hang out with like my friends. We like go to every Friday, actually tonight. Later tonight, we're going to this not anime, but like video game. Well, I guess you could say anime, video game, anime like bar.
Oh,
And we
cool.
go there and we like eat and we just hang out and talk. And so it's like our thing every Friday. So I do that. And then like, on the weekends, spend time with my girlfriend as well. Whenever I see her, we spend time. Whenever our schedules are able to align, because I work during the day, she works overnight. But it's always great to be with friends and my girlfriend, and that's what the thing I love to do, and be with my family as well. And I have my dog Keiko,
Oh.
who's here biting on her toy in the background. I don't know if you hear chewing, that's her.
No, no, no.
So I love playing with her, taking her to the dog park, eating, going to restaurants.
Yeah,
It's
nothing
always
wrong.
fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
And then just going to like I even go to cons just to go for fun, not because I'm a guest. So I love doing those and just meeting new people and hanging out and seeing panels and cool cosplays. You know, it's always a good time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, it sounds like, you know, you enjoy your life outside of the content, but it seems like on top of the content, you're still enjoying it. So
Yeah,
it seems like you're just
exactly.
enjoying everything. So it's awesome. And obviously, Goshen, this has been a great interview. A lot of fun speaking with you and everything that you're doing. Continue up the great work. I love it. I know a lot of people obviously love it. You won an award for it. So
Well, thank you. I really,
yeah.
I really, really appreciate it. Just having fun, showing my love for Dragon Ball, just and consistency.
Yeah.
And hey, it got me to where I am now today. So
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining the show, and yeah, we'll have to get you back on the show down the line for sure.
definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks. Have a good night. Have fun at the bar.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.